You're a self-help addict. You've read every book, taken every class, know exactly what you need to do, and still you're overthinking, exhausting yourself, and wondering why all the healing work hasn't led to clarity. I have good news. You're not broken. You're human. And in this Monday Muse, I'm going to tell you why you overthink so much, what it's costing you, and what you can do about it. As a recovering overthinker myself, I've worked with hundreds of clients to help them move off that airport walking belt and onto a nice scenic hike. Before we dive into the 3 reasons why you may be overthinking, let's just admit that thinking about why you are overthinking is like running on a treadmill and expecting to get from your house to the grocery store. You're using the wrong vehicle. The mind, the thoughts, cannot give you an answer to the problem that it is creating. So the first reason why you may be overthinking has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the nature of the mind and the way the mind is built. The mind has outgrown its use. That thinking function is really no longer necessary for us today. As we talk about so much, we need to move from overthinking to inner knowing. When we know at a deeper level and we pay less attention to what we're doing and more to who we're being, things will move a lot quicker. You get answers a lot faster. But the mind doesn't want you to do that, because if you do that, you take away its job. So you're overthinking because your mind is basically in the driver's seat. Your thoughts are in the driver's seat. That part of your left brain that just thinks and thinks and thinks, that's the one that's running you. And it's not your fault. It's just not that easy to turn off. It's like turning on a machine and then expecting to be able to stare at it and make it go off, which, I mean, technically you really can do, because you could do that with your energy, but that's a whole nother conversation. The point is, your brain, your mind, the way your brain and body work together, it's a machine. We don't really need to think that much anymore. We could probably get all of our thinking done in the first half hour of the day. And the rest of the day, we could just instinctively move through to know intuitively what to do next. But the mind is constantly getting in the way, saying, is this the right thing? Is this the wrong thing? Remember that the mind has 2 buckets. It has good and bad. And it's always wanting to make meaning of everything. And it's not going to leave you alone. So that's one reason why you may be overthinking. And the second reason that you may be overthinking, the mind is optimized for fear. Its highest good is to keep you safe. And it's trying to keep you safe based on your history and your ancestral history and your evolutionary history, for that matter. Remember that the only thing that the mind has to base its thoughts on is your past experience, because your brain's like a memory bank for everything you've ever experienced. If you haven't experienced it, it's not there. And when you're thinking, you're only drawing on those lived memories, memorized experiences that you've had. That's all your thoughts have to draw on. And your mind likes that because it likes the known. And we think inside the known. If you were to get in the present and stop thinking, that would mean that you would be dealing with the unknown. And the mind doesn't like the unknown because the unknown is scary. The unknown, though, is where source is. The unknown is where the now is, the present moment. That's where all creativity lives. That's where only anything new can happen in the unknown. Nothing new could happen in the known because it's already known, so it's not new. Okay, so the first reason that you might be overthinking is because the mind no longer has a use and is just trying to find viability and keep control, so it keeps going. The second reason is that it's optimized by fear, and it's based on past experiences that are known because it doesn't want to be involved in the unknown, because that's scary. And the third reason that you may be overthinking is this very simple thing, and that is that insight is only 20% of change. What creates real change in you and in your life is action, is new habits, bringing your body in on changing something different. So you can read all the books and you can have ahas and you can have great sessions and awareness. Say, oh my God, I never realized I did this. But that alone isn't going to be enough to change who you're being or your habit. So the mind's going to jump in and it's just going to keep doing what it always does. The mind can help you with becoming aware. But then if you want to get out of that overthinking and deeper into an inner knowing, you're going to have to do something different. So here are the problems with overthinking. The first obvious one is that it keeps you stuck. You get in a loop. You have those thoughts, and those thoughts fire those feelings, and now you're just repetitively thinking and feeling the same thing, and you are staying exactly the same. In fact, your biochemistry is staying the same because you're having the same thoughts and the same emotions, and you're having the same environment inside your body because those are firing the same hormones and the same chemicals, and everything is staying the same. And so you stay stuck when you overthink. And the second problem with overthinking is that you identify with everything you think. That's what the mind does. It identifies with, it has a thought, I like this, I don't like that. And then we become identified with that thought. So if your mind thinks you're a loser, it believes it. And your body doesn't know the difference. So now you have a cascade of chemicals and emotions flood through your body to remind you and to make you feel like a loser. And if you do that often enough, you're going to have a belief system. I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. The third problem, of course, that I just already mentioned is that your mind is a memory bank and it's only pulling from stored memories. So it's really not even accurate. So by definition, when you're thinking and thinking and thinking, you are living in the past because the thoughts can only come from known experience, and known experiences in the past. So even if you're thinking about your future, I don't want this to happen, I do want that to happen, how do I make sure this doesn't happen again? Even if you're thinking about future or I'm worried about something, you're thinking based on things that happened in the past. So your mind has said, well, this bad thing happens when X, Y, or Z, so I'm going to anticipate that it's going to be bad in the future. And we end up memorizing, as Dr. Joe likes to say, a past that we never even had, because the mind blows up the past memories. We're not even seeing them accurately. The third problem with overthinking is that, remember that thinking is the slowest center. So if you have an instinctive center, for example, we have an instinctive center, we have an emotional center, we have a thinking center. Even if we were just to keep it at those three, think of how quickly you have an instinct, how quickly you jump at something. You see a coiled hose, but your mind thinks it's a snake. Instantly your instinct is to jump back, right? If you eat something that makes you sick, instinctively, you're going to throw it up, right? Thinking is the slowest of all the centers. So then after those things happen, let's say, then your mind jumps online and it starts to think about, what should I do? What should I not do? This was bad. This was good, blah, 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 blah. And the problem is that if you have an issue, let's say you do have a snake in front of you, if you were waiting on your thinking mind to tell you to jump back, it's too late. So the mind has the mind thinks it has a job that it is totally unqualified for. Okay, so those are the reasons why you might be overthinking. Those are the reasons that overthinking is problematic. Now, before I tell you what you can do about it, if you're enjoying this so far and you want more videos like this, hit the like button so I know. Okay, now, what do you do about it? I got 4 things for you. The first thing is you must recognize that your mind is a machine and it's out of your control. You have to stop trying to think your way out of overthinking. It's just not, I told you, you're not broken. It's just the way that we have evolved. Now, that doesn't mean you have to surrender to it. It doesn't mean you just say, oh God, well, I guess I'm just, screwed now. But you have to respect it. You have to honor it. You have to acknowledge what you're up against. Give yourself a break. Right? If you sit down to meditation and you can't stop your mind from thinking, don't beat yourself up over that. Give yourself a break. Realize you're up against a lot. This is a massive machine. And sometimes just by giving yourself a break and acknowledging it, you can loosen its hold on you. The second thing you can do to stop overthinking is take an I mean business attitude around settling your brain and body down. When I say settling your brain and body down, I've talked about this before. You can't think yourself into changing, but you can physiologically change your state. We can physiologically change how we are feeling. We can move our brain waves down to a slower pattern and get that to stop by getting into our heart and getting heart coherent and regulating ourselves. But when the mind is in control, it makes that difficult. And so really getting firm with yourself in those moments. Let's say you're meditating and you're wanting to slow your mind down because you'd like to have an answer to something that you just keep going around and around and around in your head about. You need to, and I've had this happen. I think this happened this morning where my whole body just wanted to get up and get to work and do these things and try and work out this problem that, work out something that I couldn't work out. And I knew that my thinking mind wasn't going to be able to help me because I already had tried all that. Like I've reached the end of my mind's capacity, my thinking brain's mind to do this. It's a creative process. It has to come from somewhere else inside me. So I had to, when my mind was chattering, say, listen, we're not doing that right now. Right now, we're going to breathe into our heart and we're going to do that until we settle down. And you're not going to get up off the seat until you have settled down. And whatever that takes, that's what we're going to do. So bringing an business attitude to turning that mind off is helpful. The third thing you can do to stop overthinking is to just give it less attention. So in the first example, I said, honor it, right? But in this example, what I'm saying is don't give so much attention to what the thoughts are. Because just like, a small child or an animal or something that keeps coming back to you for something and it's not there and you're not giving it, it stops bothering you for that thing. Right? So doing that with your mind can be very effective. If when the thoughts come up, you grab onto them and you start taking the train ride with them and you get very attached to whatever the mind is saying and annoyed that you're overthinking and all of those things, you're going to stay stuck in that loop. So one way to stop overthinking is to just sort of notice, oh, here's my mind again, and then let it go. Just don't give it attention. Think of it as a 2-year-old tantruming and put your attention otherwise. You don't have to be mean to it. You wouldn't be mean to it, but just move your attention gently away. So try observing the thought without judging it. The fourth thing you can do when you're really struggling with overthinking is to drop into your body and just ask the question, where in my body does this thought live? Because we tend to live from here up and we just spend a lot of time. We're really cut off from the neck down. So if you're having a thought, let's say, for example, that's like, oh, I can't meet this deadline, or I've got too much going on. I can't fit it all in, or whatever, which, geez, I think I was just doing that today. Drop in and think about where in your body you're experiencing that. If I do that right now, I can feel it in my chest. It's a little bit of a tightness in my chest. Now what you're doing is you're remembering yourself. You're remembering yourself at a deeper level of yourself, and try and keep your attention on the body. And when the mind tries to take control again, bring it back down to the body. It's a very grounding exercise that can help you stay out of your mind. So I hope that was helpful. And if it was, please throw me a comment, like the video, check out the video that's up next, because I think you'll like that too.